Good morning, y'all. It's your girl Lo, back with another video, and today I have decided to do a video on just my story, like a little bit about me, so you can get to know me better, because I do have new subscribers and new people watching my videos, and you might not know like where I'm coming from, especially since I like to talk about mental health, and I just want to share like where I play a role in that, and then just where I am now and like how things have changed, and just like a little update. So this video is going to be kind of raw, like I'm just gonna talk, and there's not gonna be many edits, because I want this to be like, you know, just like having a conversation, kind of. Well, mostly me talking. The conversation will be in the comments if you have anything to say. But yeah, and I also wanted to do this because recently, I think it's like this past week, I've kind of reflected on like where I am now, and just because a big part of my life so one thing to know about me is I do have depression and anxiety. I was diagnosed in high school. I definitely had it though in like middle school, and I know certain other things kind of got added into my mental health, like PTSD. If I'm being honest, I feel like I've had anxiety really since I was little. But yeah, I didn't get diagnosed with anything until high school. I think it was like my freshman year of high school. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about where I play a role in mental health. But then anyway, so yeah, I was reflecting, and so I journal, and I always had a love-hate relationship with journaling, because when I wasn't okay, I would always tell myself, like, this is stupid, like journaling doesn't make any sense, like why would I do this, like no one cares, it's not like anyone's reading it, it's not fixing my problems, like whatever. I had a really bad mindset. So I do have two journals, and this is like my old one. This one is honestly really dark and sad. I took some time yesterday to like read it, and was just, obviously it was like the past version of myself, so I kind of knew some of the stuff that was in here, but when I was really reading it, and like with the mindset I have now and the way I view life now, this like hurt me to see like how hurt and how much I was struggling before, and I was really like, I was not okay. Reading this was very hard, and honestly it made me just want to hug that version of me and just be like, you know, like things are gonna get better, and it's okay. And obviously that version would never have believed that, but yeah, the things that are in here are just, I wouldn't be able to share them with like anyone. But I am gonna read like the first parts of it, just so you can see like more of like how I was feeling each day, because I do a pretty good job of describing it in like the morning. Yeah, it's a little scary what I used to like think about, and how bad my depression and anxiety was, because like I think a lot of people in my life knew it was bad, but this is kind of like scary. I'm actually a little surprised that I'm even still here today. But yeah, and then the other thing I discovered while I was reading this is, I remembered a few years ago I was looking back at an old journal I had, and in that journal I was talking more about like my suicidal tendencies, and I personally have actually had 2 attempts, once in high school and once in college, and it was so bad, it got to the point where I had actually written like suicide notes to my closest friends at that time, so my friends from high school and the ones that I have in college. I'm not sure if they even know that, so I know if you're watching this, you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so it was like that bad, and it was kind of scary, and I think that's why I talk so much about how my mental health is now, because if you had asked my 16-year-old self if she could like see me now, like I feel like she'd be crying and like in shock, pretty much is what I'm trying to say, like, because she wasn't gonna make it. She was surprised when we walked across the stage during graduation, senior year of high school. That was like a shock, because I did not think I was gonna make it that far. So, and I think it also made me reflect on and notice, which I've shared this before as well, is how birthdays are a really big deal to me, because for me that's like kind of like a celebration of I made it. Like, I made it another year. And now I know it'll be a little bit easier now that I can see the good things that come out of life, and I think I have a good set of tools to help me in managing certain things that come up and like my moods. And I've genuinely felt so much better. Like, I can't, like, it feels like a huge like weight came off my shoulders, and now it's just, I'm in the process of healing. And of course that's not easy. Like, you know, I'm still gonna have like off days, of course. Like, I'm not trying to say that I don't have any more bad days. I do, but they're only moments or days instead of weeks to months to years, you know what I mean? And that is just an accomplishment in itself. I'm just sharing my story to like let other people know that I get it. Like, I know what it feels like to want to give up. I know what it feels like to just not care anymore about yourself, about anything or anyone, and feel like there's no way out of it. But I promise you there is a way out, and I'm using my platforms, my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, and just how I go about life in general to share my story and share and inspire people and help in any ways that I can. And what I've learned and what's helped me and what hopefully will help you is the things that I'm going to share, and some things I've actually already shared if you follow me on my Instagram. But yes, let's just get into the journals and show you what I used to talk about every single day, and then kind of show you the difference. This is my new journal, but this is the old one. So this one says, I'm not okay. Every day waking up is a battle. Getting out of bed, battle. Putting clothes on, brushing my teeth, washing my face, all battles. I just want to stay in bed. College isn't for me. I don't belong here. I hate it here. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what I want to be, and I feel like if I did, I'm not willing to get there anymore. That was really like, I remember rereading that and being like, wow, like, I just couldn't physically do anything. And to see that even if I did have any sort of goal, which I know I didn't, I wasn't even willing to do it anymore. Like, I completely gave up. I don't know why I was born, but it definitely was a mistake. I clearly don't love myself. I don't feel loved, appreciated, or cared about in any way. Boys have always treated me like an object or trash, so there's no hope there. And it scares me. I don't ever think I'll get married or have kids or travel or get a job or anything. I wish I were dead. Oh, about the boys thing, I have something to say about that as well, which I guess I can share it now. I used to almost every other day would talk about the phrase that all men are the same, or I hate all men, like whatever it was. And now that I'm in a more healthy mindset and learning about affirmations and just how law of attraction and manifestation, I'm learning that while I was in this bubble of self-hatred and just, you know, depression, anxiety, and all the things that go on in the brain there, I was literally every day manifesting this, because I was constantly saying, like, I hate men, or all men are the same. Those were the only men I was attracting, ones that would hurt me, whether it was physically or mentally or emotionally, whatever it was. And that was a hard thing to learn. And I think I was upset when I was learning about like the law of attraction and manifestation, that it's because I always saw manifestation as like, oh, you can only manifest good things, and that's not true. You can manifest really shitty shit as well. And that's what I had been doing. So that now with the tools that I have been able to help like fight those demons in my head. And like, I feel like it's almost like if you think of like war, like a battle, like I have the weapons, and the weapons are my tools. And before I didn't have any tools, or weapons or whatever, so they were winning every single time, every single day. But anyway, yeah, so my new thing I do is actually on my affirmations wall, I have a little note that says, not all men are the same, and you can have a relationship that is healthy, joyful, happy, respectful. I think that's like what is put on the post-it note, and I remind myself that every single day. So it's kind of just a reminder that if you want to break that habit and break that cycle you are receiving of having these horrible men come into your life, I think it starts with kind of manifesting and saying and believing, because that's the other thing that comes with affirmations. You have to actually believe it. The universe will start sending you people that aren't shitty. This one says, today I woke up and just couldn't move. I felt like I was paralyzed. I just couldn't get out of bed. Oh, I talk about how I guess I was nervous to go to English because I was behind. I don't know how to tell my teachers what's going on, and at the end of the day, what are they even going to do? In life, you're on your own and you make your own decisions, and what you make of your time here on earth, that's all up to you. So I'm pissed that I feel so stuck. I don't know why I don't know how to function anymore. Oh, I talked about how I feel like I need to stop smoking because I was smoking a lot during this, and sophomore year it didn't make me feel good. Freshman year it did. I'm not sure what the hell happened sophomore year. College feels overwhelming. It feels like my brain has a light that turned off, and I don't have a clue how to turn it back on. This is a Tuesday, April 9th one. I don't really know how to explain how I've been feeling lately. I haven't felt exactly bad or good, almost neutral, if that makes sense. I think if I were to write this now, instead of neutral, I probably would have said numb. Because I think a lot of the time when I didn't know how to explain how I was feeling, and half the time wasn't feeling anything, it was more of like a numb feeling. But I guess here I use the word neutral. Oh, here I actually talk about, apparently I was in math class, and I saw the person that had sexually assaulted me. I can't actually use the R word anymore because it's triggering, and it feels weird to say it, I guess. So I just say sexual assault and kind of leave it at that. But I saw the person because they went to school with me, and obviously that's fucking triggering. So I guess in math class I couldn't even focus and had to do something, and I wrote about it. I'm really surprised I stayed in math. Like, usually when something like that happens, I just leave, and like I don't like care that I had to leave. But I wrote about it, and yeah, I pretty much was just explaining why I was writing about this, and I explained what he was wearing and like what he was doing, and how it made me feel. Even though, mind you, like, he wasn't, in this moment, he wasn't doing anything to me. It was just like I was just seeing him like either walk across campus, I guess, and it just, that triggered the shit out of me. So I just talked about the sexual assault all in here. I think it's like 3 or 4 pages long of me just venting it all out in math class. August 23rd, 2019. Hi, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel psychotic, unwanted, unloved, used, hurt, etc. I feel like I annoy my therapist and everything I say is stupid, and my issues are so dumb. That's another thing I used to do. I used to invalidate my feelings all the time. Like, I'd be like, oh, but I know someone who's going through worse, or like, I know there's people in other countries that are going through worse, so like I am not allowed to feel the way I feel. And that's extremely unhealthy and not okay. Whatever you're feeling, like, your feelings are valid, is the point. And I think we all need to, because I know people who do the same thing, I think we all need to stop comparing our struggles and our story, our situations to other people. I think we need to focus on ourselves and getting help within ourselves. Some days I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to get help because I was like, oh, no one's going to care. Someone else in the world is going through worse. They should help them first. And that's not okay to yourself. You're disrespecting yourself in that way, and just causing more issues and putting yourself down farther and farther and farther into this like rabbit hole of hell. So whenever you feel like you need to talk to someone, or you need whatever it is that you need to get out, like, please do it. Like, I really hope that you can maybe, like, in that moment remind yourself, like, no, my feelings are valid. I'm allowed to ask this person if I need help. And then something I actually do, here's a piece of advice. So when I need to talk to a friend about anything that's going on, or just someone in my life, I actually send them a text message that says something along the lines of, hey, I was wondering if you had time right now to hold space for a conversation, to let me vent, or let me talk about whatever is going on in my mind. Like, maybe I need to, like, if I talk it out, I'll understand it better. If like my journaling and other stuff didn't work, I usually resort to talking to someone I trust. But if you do that, I only recommend that because I know that that's something I appreciate, is more just because we're all going through something. Some days are better than others, And some of those days, as part of mental health, you need to be off your phone and just taking care of yourself. And sometimes if someone needs to vent, it may be too much for you in that moment. So allowing them to say yes or no to your question, being like, yes, I'm here for you. You can talk to me now, like whether that's call, FaceTime, text, whatever you guys do. Or maybe it's, hey, like, I'm so sorry, but I'm actually going through something right now. I cannot hold space for this right now, but I will get back to you, whether it's just in a few hours or a day or something, just whenever they're ready. Except for if it's an emergency situation. If you seriously, like, it's a 911 sort of thing, then by all means, please message or call whoever it is that you need to call, that you trust, that you need to talk to, because that's a whole different thing. But if it's more of just, I need to vent out something that happened today, or like just anything along the lines of that, where it's still like important and serious and valid, but understand that some people just can't hold space for that at the time, and like they're not going to be there for you in the way that they can if they had just had the time to almost like be there for themselves first and let go of whatever they needed to let go of, and then they can hold space for you. I just think that's a really healthy way to do it. Again, that's just advice. You don't obviously have to take that at all, but that's just something I have actually incorporated in my life. I think this year, I don't remember if it was last year, but I think it was this year is when I remember doing that. I just found that really important, and it's something that helps with my friends. And another thing is communicating with what helps you during times where you're just not yourself and things are feeling off and you feel you're going bad again. I've actually had, I'm close with my friends in this way. I don't know how close other people are with them, but if you can, sit down with your friends or text your friends in the group chat, whatever, and kind of share what you need in a time of help, I guess, in the sense of, are you someone who just, like for me, I'll tell my friends, hey, like, I need some time to understand how I'm feeling. I'm gonna journal it out, I'm gonna go for a walk, whatever it is I need to do, and then I'll be ready to come to you and talk it out, if it's something that even needs to be talked out. Sometimes journaling helps, sometimes going on that walk and just like taking a break from the hangout, whatever it is, that just automatically helps and I'm better. And then sometimes it doesn't, and I'm like, wow, I really do need to talk to them about whatever is going on, whether I was triggered or it's something someone said, or just all of a sudden I'm feeling weird or something like that. Because sometimes I can't explain how I'm feeling sometimes. My mood switches are really bad and quick and very much unexplainable sometimes. But I think having that conversation made things a lot better between all of us, because in the beginning it was just like I had mood switches and they did not understand what was happening. And I'm someone who actually gets angry before I get sad, and now I have the tools to kind of calm myself down. Like, I know what to do in these situations, but before it was like they all of a sudden like, oh no, Lolo's just angry and we don't know what to do, and it wouldn't scare them, but I think it would kind of catch them off guard and they wouldn't know what to do. And it got to the point where we actually needed to just like sit down and have that conversation and be like, what is going to help you right now? How can we help? And that's another thing you can do if you have friends in your life that are not doing so well, like they suffer from depression, anxiety, whatever it is. That's a great way to kind of ask them if they're okay. Instead of saying like, hey, are you okay? Just be like, hey, is there any way I can help right now? Is there anything I can do for you right now? And that's another thing that's helped. And each one of my friends has used this, and we do this all the time with each other too. So it's not just like towards me or at me, it's like for everyone, like we all say it to each other. But that's another thing that's helped a lot. So this book was kind of more talked about like my assaults and the trauma that I've been through, and my attempts and stuff like that, and just how every day felt like an actual battle. Like I couldn't get up. There were days I remember in college where I was able to get up out of my bed. Sometimes I couldn't, but the days that I could, I would get myself ready, I'd brush my teeth, do the things I needed to do, get dressed, and literally on the way down the stairs, panic attack, anxiety attack. Just like out of nowhere, like things would just build up, and all of a sudden I just like could not leave the building. And that was a struggle in itself, like getting to classes and stuff. There were days where I legitimately could not do it. I would cry, I would break down, I would be hyperventilating just because I couldn't breathe, and had to go back in the room and just like lock my door and just be done. Like the day was over. And that was just hard. And like, of course, in the moment, like it seemed normal, to me, because I would do it all the time. And now just like looking back at it, like I just, I don't know, like thinking about that person, it just makes me feel sad. And I want to help her almost, but I think that I am helping her by going on this like journey of healing, and growing and changing and just being there for myself and learning to put myself first, because I used to not do that, because I legitimately did not know how to love myself. I didn't like being around myself, and I was disgusted by myself, which obviously I can make other videos about that whole thing, because the whole body positivity and like my relationship with food was not exactly good either, but that can be for a different day, because I could talk about that forever. So there's a lot of things that just played into the things that I couldn't leave my room. So that's kind of my past version of myself. That's like a very generalized version. And I mainly just talked about college. Like high school was not good for me either. I didn't have a good relationship with, I don't think I've ever had a good relationship with education and like being at school. I was never okay at all. And I would always ask myself if it started in kindergarten, because that's when the first sexual harassment and bullying started, when I was 5. I think it was like from 5 years old to 8 years old. That was constant, everyday type of thing. To the point where I got scared to go to school, but didn't know who to talk to or how to talk to anyone, because I was 5. I didn't fucking know anything about sexual harassment, sexual assault, like all that sort of stuff. Like that wasn't, they don't teach us that in fucking kindergarten. So that was hard for me. I just remember knowing that I didn't like what was happening. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that I was like, oh my God, like it wasn't that you just didn't like it. That is so like, that is not okay. And this is what the name of it is. And this is how you should have gotten help. But of course, again, I was 5. Like I didn't know that sort of stuff. So that was really hard. And I actually never opened up to an adult about it until I think this year, when I started healing my shit. I remember having a conversation with one of my best friends, and I was like, I have therapy soon, and I feel like I should talk to her about this incident or this thing that happened. And they were pretty much like, yeah, like, because this is the time, like, I'm in the journey where it's now time where I have to pull all the shit that I pushed back to the very back files of my brain, need to come up now and out, because I want to break that, like, the trauma that I've had. I don't want to have to keep holding on to things inside of me that were only gonna project and come out in the future with people like significant others or future children and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to do that to them, because they don't deserve that. They weren't even there for that. Like, why would I put that shit on them? And I'm happy that I'm learning about this stuff and doing it now instead of, you know, like waiting. Anyways, there was that, and then it happened again actually when I was 14, and then, you know, the sexual assault at 18. So it was just down the line of shit, and it just got worse. New journal, I discovered where I have a date on when I started this look into wanting to get better and all that. All right, so I guess February 19th at 10 p.m. 2021, I pretty much wrote about how I've decided to go on a journey of self-love. And this is where, if you saw my TikTok, I started a self-dating series, and where I pulled myself out of the literal hell that I was in, because even in January, my friggin' birthday month, I was not okay. Your girl was still suffering. The change did not start until February 19th, 2021, which will probably be a little like mini holiday for me that I'm gonna secretly celebrate. Here, yeah, so I just write about I titled it Thoughts of Flow. And I said, I've decided to go on a journey to find self-love, the ability to be happy, at peace with myself, loving every part of me, and not allowing anyone or any thoughts to tear me down, building strength in the mind and my confidence. What I've discovered about this is it means it will help me with my mental illnesses. How so? Well, working on loving yourself, I think, would take care of the lonely aspect of depression and anxiety. And what I meant by that was I used to not be able to be alone with myself, because I couldn't. I used hanging out and being away from my room in my home as a distraction, which definitely helps a little bit in the moment, but that does not solve the issue because I'm never actually working on the parts that I'm struggling with. I'm just temporarily not being there, and then only to come back to it. So yeah, distractions only work for a moment of time. But I was tired of feeling like I needed other people to like make me happy. Like I placed my happiness, my love, my joy into the relationships I have with people and not with myself. And your relationship with yourself should be first. I didn't know that, or didn't know how to do it at all. And only relied everything into other people and not myself. And now, of course, as I started this self-dating, I just learned that I now enjoy my own company. I enjoy being by myself. I enjoy discovering new hobbies and new things that I like to do, and just that I'm in love with nature. I absolutely love the sun, the moon, the ocean, the trees, the animals, like everything. I love to be outside and in nature, and just now I go on walks by myself. I can go to the park and read my book, which, oh my God, I love reading now, which is also crazy because that was actually on my goals list. I wanted to get back into reading. I finally did it. I got back into poetry. I enjoy painting. I enjoy making people gifts. I started my business on mental health, and I have been making, I made a guided journal, which you can order on my website, which I have a business and I have a website. Like, there's so many just amazing things that are happening for me in creating that I never would have been able to do, or never thought I could do when I was, like, when the past version of myself was still present. And to see myself now, it's like these accomplishments to other people, which other people might not think is a big deal, but to me, it's like you have no clue how much this has helped me and how crazy it is that I've accomplished these sort of things. I mentioned that self-love is going to put me through hell, but I know that I will come out the other side with a better understanding of myself and a stronger mind. The power I hold within me is blocked by the unwanted, horrible thoughts in my mind, and I am my own roadblock / mountain in the way, and I'm tired of suffering at the bottom. I'm ready to climb this mountain and get to the beauty that's at the top, the view equaling all the opportunities, love, everything that I'll be working for, happiness, peace of mind. We are here to love, live, grow, and become whoever we want to be. Life isn't a straight line. Nothing in life is supposed to be a straight line. Meaning that, like, you don't have to have a set, like, goal and then, like, a step to get there. Like, it's okay to just let things happen and, like, slow down. I've learned to slow myself down and stop. Because with anxiety, like, I was always freaking out and needing to know what to do next and stuff like that. And it made things so much worse. Because then the aspect of anxiety was always my high pace, like, oh my God, I have racing thoughts. And, like, I had this, like, I would feel guilty if I didn't get something done at a certain time. And then my depression would come in and be like, we don't need to do that. Like just fuck it. Like, let's just give up. It was always, I think I always felt like I was crazy because I had the anxiety and the depression piece, and they are such opposites, and they would come together and crash, and my brain tiring. Oh my God, every single day just felt like draining. And even if I didn't have outside stuff happening, like having both of them, like they would just, because with my anxiety and the overthinking, like it made assumptions, and I would just create scenarios of things. Like if I didn't ask someone how they actually felt about whatever, like whether something was said or whatever's been doing, whatever happened, I would then, like, my overthinking part of me is just going to make an assumption about it, and then that gets stuck in my brain, and I just would overthink it over and over and over. And it was just, whew, you guys get it. If you have depression and anxiety, you get what I mean. Like, it's just, it fucking sucks. It sucks. But anyway, those are just some things that were crazy about it. There's obviously way more, and much more in-depth stuff. Did not make living easy at all. Definitely drove you to want to just end it. Thinking I'm going to, I mean, you can leave a comment and say if you want me to do a specific video on something that I talked about in here. Other than that, I was already planning on making like little individual videos on deeper stuff, especially with the stuff that I'm learning, because I want to talk about meditation and yoga and affirmations and all that sort of stuff. Like I have so much to say on all of it. I can always go deeper and deeper into things. And then spirituality, I'm going to make one on spirituality and everything I've learned there, because that has helped me so much. And of course I'll talk about crystals and Buddhism. I want to have a conversation about that. So yeah, I'm going to dive into all those things and give you a very more in-depth combo talk, whatever, about that. But for now, this video was just like a little, hey, this is the past version of myself. You can get to know her a little bit, and now you can know the present version of me, who is doing so much better, and just seeing life in such a beautiful eye and outlook. And again, of course, I still have some tough days, but I now have the tools to deal with those days. And yes, sometimes that means doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes that means taking a nap. Sometimes that means just going off my phone. Those still count as tools of just self-care. Go check out my website. I will link it in the description, and my Instagram, my TikTok, both of them, like my business and my main. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video and taking the time to watch this video. I know it's long. I hope you enjoyed it, got something from it, got any sort of advice from it, and just, you know, try your best to just be kind to yourself. Honestly, be kind to yourself, believe in yourself. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you find time to treat yourself, to take care of yourself, and be there for yourself, because you deserve it. And yeah, all right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye.